What we're going to do, this is the last opportunity we have for our class before Chanukah. So we're going to concentrate on the brachot of Chanukah, and there's a lot that goes into it. If you're not informed, it just takes a minute to say the brachos and that's finished, and you go and you light. But there's a lot that person can really put into the brachos, and it makes all the difference in the world. The kavanah that a person has changes the entire episode of the lighting into something really, really great and very, very important for Am Yisrael. So we're going to learn all the kavanahs that you can have. I wrote on the piece of paper that you have in front of you, on the top left side, my telephone number. I wrote the telephone number so that if you have questions, you can call me up for clarification, because this requires a number of times to be reviewed before you do the actual lighting on Thursday night the first time. This is for every night of Chanukah. Every time we light, these are the kavanahs we're going to have. And you will need these few days before Chanukah, review it a few times so that when it comes to the actual lighting, you're not going to just now, oh, I got to stop and do this. It won't work. There's too much pressure. The people around, you want to get it done and finished. So you have to go over it beforehand to make sure that you're familiar with it. And then when it comes to the actual lighting, it will flow smoothly. Anybody need a pen? Need a pen?
No, I have the pen.
Need a pen?
Another page.
Another page? Here's a page. Here's a page. The first thing is we have to realize, number one, that we're talking about or. Now, or is, of course, translated into light. But we're not talking only about physical light. We're talking about spiritual light. Now, how many candles are there in the entire Chanukah? If you add it all up, 1 plus 2 plus 3, add it up, comes out to 36. It's not by coincidence that there are only 36. There's a reason that there are 36 candles, because before the world got into its regular routine, there were 36 hours when there was a special light in the world, which today is called the Or HaGanuz. That light was hidden away. Now, how the 36 hours are split up, there's a number of opinions about how that worked. But the familiar opinion is this Or that existed in the world was on Yom Shishi, on Friday, for 12 hours, and then for 24 hours of Shabbos, and then Motzei Shabbos, the Or was hidden away, nignaz. So it's called the Or HaGanuz, the Or which is hidden in there. What kind of Or are we talking about? That wasn't physical light. It was a kind of spiritual clarity. It was a light that gave you awareness, gave you deep understanding, gave you deep knowledge. That light was available only for that amount of time, and afterwards it was hidden away. After the Chet and the Shabbos came, and after that it was hidden away. Why was the light hidden away? Why? Oh, so Rabbi Yaakov Meir says what indicated, because there was the Chet of Eitz Hadas, and therefore it's like an onish. Therefore we're punished. We had the light taken away from us because of that. The Avos Shalom, one of the big Hasidic Rebbe, he said no, it wasn't an onish. It was a necessary, I would say, a necessary thing to be done, because the matzav that the world was put into after the Chet Hadas, the light would be too dangerous. It would not be in the right hands. It would fall into the wrong hands. If that light falls into the wrong hands, it's something which is very neutral. And if the wrong people get what's something neutral, they use it for negative things, use it for destruction. And therefore the light had to be put away, not necessarily as an onesh. It could also be for an onesh. We weren't deserving. The world wasn't deserving to have the light around. But it's more probable that with the way Hashem runs the world, if you understand, if you have even get a feeling from the Svarim, from the Sifrei HaKodesh, and from all the Masorah that we have, Hashem does what needs to be done. That's the way Hashem runs the world. He does what has to be done.
Etz Adat was a Nora Alila.
What?
Etz Adat,
Yes.
the head, was Nora Alila.
Yes, so therefore...
A necessary...
I mean, the Avera itself.
Yes.
All right, we don't get into that. Bechira, not Bechira. All right, we don't get into that. But anyway, after the Chet of the Eitz Hadas and Shabbos, which is like Me'ein Olam Haba, after that, the world was not fit for the Or HaGanuz. It could not be here. It would be misused, it would be dangerous, therefore it had to be put aside, and we're waiting for it. When Mashiach will come, the Or HaGanuz will be released. But there is some consolation. What's the consolation? Consolation is that we can get some of the sparks of the Or HaGanuz at very, very specific times, like Shabbos, like Yom Tov, and like Chanukah. So when we light the menorah on Chanukah, we have to realize we have the ability to bring down into the world a lot of enlightenment. This is, by the way, going on right now all over Eretz Yisrael. I don't know what's doing in Chutz La'aretz so much, but in Eretz Yisrael, there's a tremendous hisorus going on as a result of this war. People who are chilonim legamri chilonim. The opposite of the end of the spectrum. Anti, are putting on talis and tefillin, and they're bringing Sefer Tifrei Torah into chiloni kibbutzim. It is something going on here. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but that is what's happening. And this is because of this Or HaGanuz, which is being released, and it has an effect to many different places and people in different ways. But it's causing an awareness, an arousal all over Eretz Yisrael. I hear this all the time, every single day. New reports, new stories of new people. It's something going on in the world, and now we have a chance to really, really multiply it on Chanukah by lighting with the proper kavanos. This is very, very important. We should not just think you say the bracha and you light the candles and you eat latkes. Chanukah is a lot more important than that.
No latkes?
Okay. So before we go into the brachas, we need a little bit more of a Hagdama. Remember, in our learning about the Baal Shem Tov, we've mentioned many times the spiritual levels that exist. Now, there are basically 4 spiritual worlds. Let's call them levels. We use the word world because in the Sifrei Kodesh they say olamos, olam ha'elyon, olam ha'tachton, we have olamos. But the word olam, by the way, you understand, aleph lamid mem, comes from the same word as the word ne'elam, something which is hidden. It's a word which means that there is something going on, but we don't have complete, control over it, complete grasp of it. So they use the word olam. Olam is something which exists, but we don't have a real good understanding of it, real grasp of it. So anyway, there are...
Ayin.
Ayin?
Ayin lamed.
What did I say?
Aleph.
Aleph. Oh, excuse me. Ayin lamed mem. Ayin lamed, from the word olam, right. Ayin lamed mem, olam. So olam, the word, again, I said ayin lamed mem, the shorish is something which is hidden, And these olamos are levels or existences, some kind of a spiritual existence, which we call an olam. So there are four basic levels, four basic olamos. You have we learned this in the Baal Shem Tov many times in discussions that we had. We have olam ha'atzilus, olam abriya, olam yetzira, olam ha'asiya. Atzilus comes from the word eitzel. That's very close. Eitzel, it's close to Hashem. Very close, very high up. Underneath you have that olam. After that, you have the olam of bria. You know, in bria is already something there where a creation can take place. That's why it's called olam habriya. I mean, it's something which is closer. It's not yet physical at all, but it's closer. It's not eitzel Hashem. It's further away. So it's called bria. That's why the Torah starts off Bereshis bara. Bereshis bara. The olam of bria means that there's something that can go on which is already able to be understood. Something that's tangible. In Atzilus, it's not even tangible. It's so high up, it's so close to Hashem that it has no tangibility to it at all. It's like iron. It's like a nothing. It exists. It's something there, but it's too high up to really have any concrete, nature about it.
Formation.
Huh?
Formation?
What's formation?
It's bria.
Bria is already something where something can be. No, not formation. Not formation. The next one, Yitzira, is already something which is formation. We can take the Bria and now put some kind of shape and form in it. And we'll call that Yitzira. So that's a lower level already. We're taking what already exists, something which is tangible, and we're able to form it, to shape it. That's called the Olam of Yitzira. And then after the forming and the shaping, we have to have a finishing off. You have to have a polishing off. You have to perfecting it. That's called olam asiya. So let's go over the four levels again. We have atzilus, bria, yetzira, and asiya. Asiya means doing. It means something which is already able to be worked with. And at the olam of asiya, it's a spiritual world. A spiritual world. But you take the spiritual world, let's put it from the top, from 1 to 10. Where is this world? This is a physical world. It's not a spiritual world, right? It's a physical world. This world, we can say, for an example, if you take the Olam of Asiya and count from the top 1 to 10, we would be at the very bottom. At the last level of Olam Hasiya, there's all of a sudden a switch from spirituality to physicality, and maybe we can call that the Big Bang. Maybe. I don't know. Just an example to give us an idea, a grasp of what we're talking about. Okay, so we, in this world, we're in the Olam Hasiya, the very, very bottom, at the end of the Olam Hasiya, we have a physical world. What we want to do as in general, have in mind what we're trying to do. We want to bring down all the energies, all the Kedusha from the upper worlds. When we are going to light candles, we want to bring down all the Kedusha, all the energy from all the way up. We want to bring it all the way down to the Olam Hasiya. And where are we going to bring it to? To the menorah. The menorah is also part of Olam Hasiya. The menorah contains it all, holds it, the menorah, and we want it to be all there. And when it's there and it's burning, it gives off from the Or HaGanuz. The Or HaGanuz is being spread to the entire world, and we hope that people will become enlightened from it. Okay. Now, just to give you another hint, another remez, the bracha that we make on the menorah. If you look in the Sidurim, and I don't know what Chabad's nusach is, I didn't check the Chabad nusach, but if you look at most Sidurim, even Ashkenaz Sfard, it all says, Asher kedeshanu mitzvah tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Chanukah.
With shell or without shell?
Most Sidurim say lahadlik ner shel Chanukah. Like I say, ner shel Shabbos, lahadlik ner shel Shabbos, lahadlik ner shel Chanukah, lahadlik ner shel Yontif, shel. How many words are in that bracha? If you count Baruch all the way, 14. There are 14 words in the bracha. The Mekubalim and the Svardim take out the word shell. They take out the word shell. It's lahadlik ner Chanukah. Why do they take out the word shell? If you take out the word shell, you have 13 words. The 13 words, here's one of the kavanas that you have to have.
Echad.
Excuse me?
Echad.
No, here. It's to be ma'orer, yud gimel midas of Rechavia. When you're saying the bracha, the first bracha, you want to arouse and activate the yud gimel midas of Rechavia that we say on the Yom Norayin. Shem Hashem, Kel Rachum V'Chan, Yeshua Shemar, Kel Rachum V'Chan. We want to activate those Yud Gimel Midas of Rachamim. So it's very important to remember that. You take out the word shell from the bracha, and you have to have this in mind. You should write it down on the paper that in front of you. It's not here. I didn't write it down. I didn't include that. That you are activating with your bracha. When you say the bracha, you want to activate the Yud Gimel Midas of Rachamim by saying all the words, 13 words. Okay, that's number one. Now, just think of the end of the bracha. If you look on your page in front of you, look at the page in front of you. In the middle of the page, before the line, you have the words Lahadlik Ner Chanukah. You see that on the right side?
Yes.
Middle of the page. I underlined the first letter of each word. La, na, cha. You see that?
Yes.
Why did I underline that? Because if you take those letters, Lamed, Nun, and Ches, and rearrange them, it comes out to Nachal.
The river.
Nachal. Just rearrange the letters, Nun, Ches, Lamed, comes out to Nachal. What is a Nachal?
A river.
A stream. A stream. What are we doing? As it says on the immediate left, Hamshachas or Elyon Limata. We are bringing down, we are pulling down from the Olamas Velyonim, we're bringing down an ore to this world by doing what we're doing, by making the bracha and doing the action of the lighting. Lahadlik ner Chanukah. That I am making a nachal, I'm making a stream, a flow of energy from the upper world, from the Or HaGanuz, from the hidden light, I'm bringing it down to this world. That's what we're doing by saying the bracha. Okay. Now, let's look at the top of the page. At the top of the page, I wrote down on the top right side, one underneath the other, the names of the four olamos: Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. The last one is encircled, and we'll come to that in a minute. We're going to concentrate now on the first three: Atzilus, Bria, and Yetzira. Now, they have, in the Kabbalistic writings, a numerical representation. These olamos, these hidden concepts, are numerically represented and written out as I wrote them. Atzilus is with a Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, written out that way, with the Yuds. Yud, Vav, Dal, Hey, Yud, Vav, Hey, Yud. Then underneath that is again Yud, Vav, Dal, Hey, Yud, but here it's Vav, Aleph, Vav. And the last two again are Hey, Yud. And the third one is Yetzira, Yud, Vav, Dal, Hey, Aleph. Vav, Aleph, Vav, and Hey, Aleph. All of those, if you add them up, simple addition, it comes out, the first one is Ayin Bey 72, the second one is Samech Himel 63, and the third one is Mem Hey 45. Add up all of those three, 72, 63, and 45, you get 180. 180. What is the significance of the 180? What's so important about that? Take the word to the very left of that. The word lahadlik is 179 added up, plus the word as a whole itself is another one, the kolel. It's 179 plus the word, it's 180. So therefore, when you say the bracha, Asher kedeshanu b'mitzvosav tzivanu, lahadlik, What do you have to think in your mind, lahadik? You have to think, I am now using the energy of those worlds,
Okay.
the Yud Kei Vav Kei, that represented in the three levels, Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, all the energies of those upper worlds, all the lights of those upper worlds, with the word lahadlik, I'm containing them in the word lahadlik. And I'm bringing them where? Down to the Ner. The Ner, lahadlik Ner. What is the Ner? The Ner is the cup of oil. That's the Ner. Once I bring down those energies to the Ner becomes full. It is now not just a simple cup of oil or a wax candle. It is now something which contains full volume. Now what happens to the Ner? Take a look underneath, 2 lines below that. Ner, you see 2 lines below that. Ner, the word itself, Ner, is 250. Equals 250. Resh is 200 and a Nun is 50. So it's 250. Now Ner, 250, is comprised of those 3 combinations to the immediate left of that. Yud Hey Vav Hey and the word Ekya. Yud Hey Vav Hey and the word Elokim. Yud Hey Vav Hey and the word Adoni. If you add them all up, the gematria will come out to 250. So I am now giving the Ner its full by adding the energies from above. I'm giving the Ner its full impact. And what is the Ner with its full impact? So that I can give out the light, the spiritual light. It has to have those 3 combinations. Havaya Ekya, Havaya Elokim, Havaya Adni. Up until here, are we all clear?
Yes.
Okay. So I asked you again, don't hesitate. If you have questions, I want you to take this home and go over it so that when you're familiar with it, when it comes to lighting the candles on the menorah Thursday night and Friday every single night, you'll have this in front of you. You'll be able to have these kavanos, and that makes your lighting worth 1 billion times more than just anyone who lights and doesn't know what he's talking about.
Why the fourth permutation?
Oh, we'll see in a minute. Okay, so we had. Okay, now we go to the beginning of the bracha. Underneath the Asiya, go up a little bit higher, we have the word of Baruch Atah Hashem. Now the Hashem, you have to understand, Yud Kei Vav Kei, anytime you make a bracha, all year long, anytime you make a bracha, what gives the bracha its power? What gives the bracha its energy? What activates the bracha? What makes the bracha a bracha? Bracha to Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. What did I do? What happened? What did I just say? No, the idea is that the Shem Hashem in the bracha, that's what gives the energy into the bread. When you say the Shem Hashem, that is the source of energy of that bracha. That gives the bracha its power to influence whatever you want to influence. Whether it's a shakol niyeh b'dvaro, or it's a drink, whether it's mizonos, whether it's bori priya eitz, any bracha, any time during the year, whenever you make a bracha, it's the Shem Hashem in the bracha, which is the ikar of the bracha. That is the actual core of the bracha. It's the energy of the bracha comes from the Shem Hashem. Now the Shem Hashem has many, many kavanos. We learned from the Baal Shem Tov a very important trick. What's the trick? He said in the Davening, if you remember, we cannot really have all the kavanos that the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah, these were Tanoim and Nevi'im, when they formulated for us all the brachos, they knew exactly what wording to use. You have to remember, before the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah came into existence, that means at the end of the second Beis HaMikdash, there still was some Nevi'im left, and Tanoim. What happened during the time of the first Beis HaMikdash? Or before the first Beis HaMikdash, when David HaMelech was thinking about building the Beis HaMikdash, he wasn't given that permission Hashem, he said, your son, Hashem told me your son couldn't do it. Shlomo will build it. David wanted to build it. But what did people do before there was a Beis HaMikdash? And when they wanted to eat or drink or do anything, how did they make brachos? There was no Anshe Knesset HaGedolah. There is no nusach and no siddur to open up. What did they say? So I was taught that until that time, people who made brachos understood very well the effect that brachos have in Shemayim, and they knew the proper wording. They knew on their own. People were on a high enough level to know what to say and how to say it, and therefore there was no need for an Anshe Knesset HaGedolah. We didn't need the Rabbanim to formulate for us how to say brachos. But as the generations came further and further away from the early years, and there was a lot of gullus, and a lot of wars, and so on and so forth, and people forget, and they become weaker. They needed somebody to formulate it for them, because people were forgetting how to make brachos and forgetting all the information that they needed. B'misrad. So they needed the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah to give them the formula to make the brachos. So they did. But when they made the brachos, they inserted the Shem Hashem in the bracha. The Shem Hashem is what gives the bracha its energy to accomplish what we're hoping. We make a bracha, Amotzi Lechem in Haaretz. We want a bracha to go into the bread. That bracha that goes into the bread is able to go into it because the Shem Hashem is what gives it the energy it needs. Okay, so says the Baal Shem Tov, we do not have the ability to come to all of the thoughts that the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah have. So what are we supposed to do? They were a couple of thousand years ago. Anshe Knesset HaGedolah, Beis HaMikdash. It's almost 2,000 years since the destruction of the second Beis HaMikdash. And they were earlier, before the destruction. We're never going to be able to have those kavanos. These are people who are Tanoim, Nevi'im. What are we supposed to do? It's very simple. Very simple. What did he say about Shem Tov? Let's say you want to get someplace. So you take a train, or you take a bus. Forget the cars. You take a train or a bus. You stand there waiting for the train to come, bus to come. They come to the stop, opens up, and you get on. And the bus goes on, and the train goes on. Says and you get to your destination. Says that's exactly what you do when you say the bracha. You figure yourself getting onto the bus, getting onto the train. Who is the motorman of the train? You're the motorman. You start saying the words. You're the motorman. You're driving the train. You're driving the bus. And when it comes to these words that you are originating from your mouth, all you do is say to yourself, I am throwing myself into the word. I want to connect to Hashem. I want to get to a certain destination that this bracha is supposed to bring me to. And I don't know how to do it. But I don't know how to drive the train either. But I just get on the train and the train takes me. Do the same thing with the bracha. I throw myself into the bracha. I get on the bus. By saying the words, I think of myself, not myself anymore. I'm not myself, I'm not separated. I want to go into the word, become part of the word. As I'm saying it, I become part of the word, and therefore, as the word is said and it goes, I'm part of it, and it happened, it accomplishes what it has to, and I did what I could. That's a trick of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov said that for people in his level and his time, for the Hasidim in his imagine us. He said we can't have the kavanas that the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah had, so we have to do that. So it says surely in our generation, I think we have to do also. If we can't have all the kavanos, we have to take ourselves in our minds, put ourselves into the words. I want to go into the word, and the word has kedusha. I'm being mavatal myself to the words, and whatever the words do, I am soymech on Hashem. I'm soymech on the Rabbanim who made this formula of the brachas. It's supposed to do, I go along with it. At least if you do that, you're safe. What the problem is, people don't know that either, and when they're making the bracha, they're thinking about the telephone calls, they're thinking about how much they have to buy, or what they have to do. Their mind is someplace else, and the words are empty. Words are empty. I don't know if their words accomplish anything. If you don't have kavanah, at least for what the words are, you're saying the words, your mind is someplace else, I don't know if you accomplish anything at all. It's almost like a bracha l'batala.
So I take the bus number 52.
wait. 1 minute. Okay.
But you need a transfer.
Okay. This is an important point, but I just heard it recently. From Ovadia Yosef, the grandson of Harav Ovadia Yosef, his grandfather. He said that very similar idea. He said people go to shul 3 times a day, Shachris, Mincha, and Ma'ariv. And they go Shabbos, they go. Then they come to Shemayim, and they're going to see that all the tefillahs that they said are not there. What have I been doing my whole life? When I'm going to shul, you know, you get schar for going to shul. Let you get schar. You can't take that away from you because that's something you did. But the words that you said in davening, if you didn't have your concentration, you weren't thinking what you're saying, you're talking to God and you're thinking about the baseball game, or you're thinking about your business transactions, or you're thinking about the stock market, or you're thinking about the news, and you're talking to God and you want that to be recorded as credit for you? Is there any greater chutzpah? You're talking to the Melech Melchei HaMelachim, and your mind is someplace else. And he knows what's in your mind. He sees right through you. And you're talking to him, the words are automatic like a machine. Baruch Hashem, Magen Avraham, they're all coming out automatically, and your mind is someplace altogether. How can you have that as a credit? You'll come up there after 120 years, you'll see you'll get credit for coming to shul, for sitting in shul. It's a mitzvah to sit in shul also, you get credit for that. Very good. But for your davening, you want credit for your davening without concentration? That's what he said. And what can I say? He said it. And it sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Okay, so the Baal Shem Tov said, at least, if you can't understand what the words are saying, have this general kavanah. You, rabbis, the Tanoim, the Nevi'im, you made this bracha, you made the formula, I'm soymach on you. I'm putting myself into the words, whatever the words have to do, I'm there. At least you have the credit for saying the words, and they accomplish what they have to do, and you go along with the ride. So you did something good. Okay. So the bracha is Hashem, and then we said, when you come to Hashem, you had lahadlik. Then you had lahadlik. And then you said ner. We went to the kavanas already of lahadlik. Lahadlik means that you're bringing down the energies of the upper worlds, from Atzilus, Bria, and Yetzira, lahadlik. And then where you're bringing them to the ner. The ner is the candle that you're lighting, and you're giving the ner its full operational ability. How? By thinking of that combination of Shemos. Hashem Ekia, Hashem Elokim, Hashem Admi. That makes the ner active. It makes the ner able to give out its aura. It gives out its enlightenment. And then you say the word Chanukah. The Chanukah is for you now a siman. The Chanu and the Ka. You see it's split up into 2 words. Chanu, Ka. Ka, Kaf Hey, is 25. Why is it significant of 25? You count the letters in the word Ner, those combinations rather of the letters. Avai Eki, Avai Elokim, Avai Ani. You'll see there are 25 letters. 25 letters. Those 25 letters, Chanu, they are now at rest. Until you have now been pumping them, you have been pumping down with the upper energies, you have brought them down to their place of rest. Chanu. And now the 25 letters now contain the energies from above, and they're all at rest. Now they can do what they have to. Chanu Kafeh. So that's Chanukah. You're saying that the energies that came down from the top, they're now at rest, and there are 25 letters, which is the recipient of the energies of above, and they can be now active and give out their light from the Or HaGanuz into the world and enlighten people. And that's what we need, a lot of light. Now, you know who needs a lot of light? It's very important now to have this kavanah in your mind also. I just heard just yesterday a report from a Filipino who was one of the captives who was just released. A Filipino caregiver. He was serving an old man, an old woman, and he was taken into captivity. He said he was 5 floors underneath the ground, 5 floors down. It was cold, it was damp. They hardly had any food at all, hardly anything to drink, enough to subsist. He got 1 slice of bread, that was it, for an entire day. 1 slice of bread for an entire day, and he would not eat it, he would take bits of this as he felt that he needed. And he would keep whatever he had, he didn't know what would be tomorrow. That's what he gave them, 1 slice of bread. And they gave them toilet paper. How much toilet paper did they give them? 1 square of toilet paper. That was it. 1 square of toilet paper. And what did he do with it? He didn't use it for its regular purpose. He says he pasted it on the wall. The wall had moisture on it because it was so down low. And when the paper absorbed the moisture, he would eat the toilet paper, hoping that his body would digest the moisture, and some of them, if there are any nutrients in the paper, that's what he ate. That's the food that they had. 1 slice of bread, and I don't know what he did for the toilets and all that, what they did, but he didn't use it for their regular purpose. That's what they got. And this is going on, day after day. And somehow he survived, and he got out in order to tell it. So you can imagine the other ones, the other captives, our hostages. By the way, I heard this morning on the radio that they already know that some of the hostages there are not alive anymore. That was expected. Because under the conditions that they're in, and the people there were, elderly people and all kinds of and children, how long can these, very delicate people last? So we have to think of this bracha to give energy to those people down there. When we make the bracha, we have in mind, we want those hostages to have the energy to give them the encouragement to stick it out and to wait, to have bitachon that they're going to get free, that they will. But it's very important for us. We have no idea how much we generate by having this kavanah in mind when we make the bracha. You do it for the hostages, our people who are down there, and they're still waiting. They don't know what's going to be now, because now the war is continuing, and the ceasefire stopped. So there's bombing going on, and they say that now that they're not going to release any more until it all stops again. Who knows what's going to be? No one knows. Anyway, they need all of the light that they can get to give them the encouragement and the inner strength to stick it out. Shem should help them. Okay. So these brachas with their kavanas are very, very important. Don't make no light of it. I suggest take it home, go over it a few times. If you have any questions, my telephone number is on the top left side. Please call me up, and I'll help you to explain it again or straighten it out, to clarify, whatever. Okay. The next bracha. Second bracha is Sha'asa Nisim.
Rabbi Weinberg.
Yes. Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Sha'asa Nisim. Now the word Sha'asa is this Nisim. The second bracha is made for the following, as it says underneath that, Lahamtik Hadin. Now there's a lot of din in the world, as we understand, we know. The din is now very, very powerful all over the world. It's not a Holocaust, like it was during World War II. But there is a tremendous amount of anti-Semitism erupting all over the world. There are attacks of Jews all over the world. And that is like they are here. But there are incidents I'm hearing all over, all kinds of acts of antagonizing Jews all over the world. So the midah of din is very, very active now.
And also Jew hatred.
There are Jews who are against Jews also, correct? And you should know, unfortunately, here in Eretz Yisrael too. In spite of all of the hisorus that's going on, the positive things, there are still negative things going on inside the government also. All kinds of negative things going too. The midah of din is still, unfortunately, active. We have to do everything we can to sweeten the din. How do we sweeten the din? Number one, by acts of kindness, by acts of chesed. That's not on the paper. By acts of chesed, we generate an aura. We generate an aura, doing things really lishma, to help other people, without any ulterior motives, no hopes of getting anything in return. To help somebody, really just to help them. Selflessness, without any selflessness at all, just to help somebody else. That's number one. That sweetens the din. But we can also do it with kavanos, and that's here in the bracha also. She'asa nisim. We'll take a look at the word she'asa. Underneath the word lahamtik din, you have shin ayin and shin hey. That's the word she'asa split up into two. It's split up into two. Shin ayin is 370. Shin is 300, ayin is 70. Now that is the word el. El, which is the midah of chesed, is spelled out in expanded form. Aleph is Aleph Lamed Pei, and the Lamed is spelled out Lamed Mem Daled. Aleph Lamed, that's El. If you add that up and multiply it by 2, it comes out to 370. So twice El, in other words, Aleph Lamed Pei, once and again. Lamed Mem Daled, once and again. If you add that up, it comes out to 370. So the midah of El, which is expanded, you take a midah which is contracted and you expand it. You are expanding the chesed. You are broadening it. You are multiplying the chesed by expanding it into from Aleph Lamed simple to Aleph Lamed Pei, Lamed Mem Daled. You are expanding the chesed. You do that twice, and you have 370. That is Shin Ayin. So when you say the bracha, you don't say she'asa nisim. You say she, and you're thinking Aleph Lamed Pei Lamed Daled, Aleph Pei Lamed Daled, she, she, and then you say sa. Sa shin hey is 305. 305. What is 305? That's the Shem Hashem Elokim. Aleph Lamed Pei Lamed Daled Daled, Hey Yud, Yud Vav Daled, Mem Mem, Elokim, and then Elokim by itself, the regular, comes out to Shin Hey, 305. So you take She'asa. When you say She'ah, you're thinking of Aleph Lamed Pei, Lamed Mem Daled twice. She'asa. Sa is the Elokim. It's the Elokim. So the Elokim is the midah of din. You're sweetening the midah of din with the kale. The first two letters, the shin a, shin ayin, sweeten the next two letters, the shin hey. She'asa. The first two sweeten the last two. The last two are the midah of din, which have to be sweetened by the first two. So when you say it, you're thinking it. As you're thinking it, it's happening. Okay. Next is, then of course the Shechiyanu. Now the Shechiyanu is a very important bracha. Why is it so important? Because, thank God, we are alive. We're not in the dungeons there, in the tunnels, in the minharot down south. We're sitting here very comfortably in Yerushalayim. Even though there are terror attacks, there were last week, unfortunately, but by and large, we're sitting very, very comfortably, with all the conveniences, and we're alive and healthy. So we have to say Shechiyanu with a lot of emotion, a lot of gratitude, that we are alive today. We haven't been removed from this world. We're still here. We can express our gratitude to Hashem. So we have to say Shechiyanu with a lot of kavanah. Remember that we're still here to celebrate Chanukah, and it's more than just eating latkes. There's a lot more into it than that. Okay.
Donuts.
That's the Shechianu. All right, now here's something else which is very important also. Before you begin anything, you have the oil. The oil is called shemen, right? Now shemen can be written differently. It's written differently. It has a numerical representation, and it's called in the Atbash Aleph Beis. Atbash means that the letters of the Aleph Beis can be switched for the opposite end of the Aleph Beis. For instance, Atbash means that Aleph can be substituted for a Tuf. The first letter of the Aleph Beis is Aleph, the last letter is a Tuf, so therefore Tuf can represent Aleph. The next letter is a Beis. What would be the next letter on the other side? What comes before Tuf? Shin. So a Shin represents a Beis. That's called the Atbash Aleph Beis.
So it's going both ways.
Right. The last letter is for the first. The second for the last letter is for the second letter, is Beis. And also the same thing also. A Gimel would be a Resh. Resh and Tuf, a Gimel would be a Resh. So each letter at the end represents another at the beginning. So in that Aleph Beis of the Atbash, Shemen comes out to Beis Yud Tes on the sheet in front of you. Beis Yud Tes. Ba, I have the Nakudas written there. Ba Yod Tit. Beis Yud Tes. What is the importance of that? Why is it Beis Yud Tes? Why? I don't remember the reason why they did that. They represented the Shemen by Beis Yud Tes, but it's what's important is what Rabbi Yaakov Meir has been asking the whole time. If you take a look at the Nakudas under the Beis, it's a Kamatz, again a Kamatz, and then a Shva. Now here, understand this. The Nakudos have a numerical value. Never knew that, huh? The Nakudos have a numerical value. A line in the Nakudos is considered to be a Vav. And that has a numerical value of 6. And a dot has a numerical value of 10. 10. So when you have a kamatz in the siddur,
You want letter?
huh?
And you?
Not the letter. Talking about only the kudos. Only the kudos. Yeah, it's like a dot.
The line is a vav, and the dot is what letter?
It's not a letter.
Okay.
Not a letter. Now in the siddur, if you look at the siddur, the kamatz looks like this. Correct? You know why they did that? Because the printing machines aren't able to do it the right way. Underneath this line really should be a dot, not an extended line. A kamatz is a line across with a dot, like a chirik, underneath. That's what a kamatz is. How much is worth the chirik, the dot? 10.
10 plus 6.
16. So you have, look at that, ba your test. You have one. How many dots do you have there? 4 dots. 4 dots. 4 dots is 40.
Excuse me, where are 4 dots?
Under the base, 1 dot. Under the unit, another
yes,
dot,
yes,
and
yes.
under the test,
Yes.
40. Then you have 2 lines going across under the base. Correct? 2 lines going across. Each line is 6. Right? So it's 6, and 6 is 12, and the 40 is altogether 40 and 12 is 52. 52 is the nikr of bed.
Excuse me, I see only 3 dots.
Why 3?
1 in bed,
Under the yud, another dot?
2 dots.
No, under the yud is 1 dot.
What? You need the dot of the kamatz. Okay,
It's a dot.
yes.
And then under the test, 2 dots. So that's altogether
But
40.
in the bed, there is a dot or not?
Yes, it's a kamat, but the kamat is supposed to be a dot under
So
the
there are 5.
No, 4. Under the base, under the yud, and under the test. The 3 letters only.
Here there are 2.
2, 3, 4.
And this is 5.
No.
Only the dots.
The line is a dot.
Okay.
The line is a dot. So it's 40 plus the 2 lines, it's 52. That's Ben. Ben is what you've been asking all the time. Rabbi Yaakov Meir, go up to Olam Asiya, up on top. That's the last of the 4 Olamas. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. That comes out to Ben, 52. That is the lowest level. That is where the oil is. The oil is bringing down from the highest to the lowest. From the Keser, the base is from the Keser to the Yud, to the lower levels, and it finally gets to the Tes all the way down. That's where the Shechina is. That's where Olam Hasiya is. That's what the Shemin is doing. The Shemin is bringing down the light, the energies from the highest level all the way down, going through the base, going through the Yud, to end up the Tes. That's what the Ben is. That's the Olam Hasiya. That's where the menorah is. That's where the oil is. Okay. So that is all of the kavanas that you need for the lighting of the menorah. This will make the lighting of the menorah for you a very, very qualitative episode. It'll be very, very meaningful if you go through it beforehand and you review it. And then when it comes to the lighting, have the paper in front of you, have the kavanas as you're saying it, as you do it, it'll make it much more meaningful. But again, I say, please go over during the week and call me if you have a question. Okay, that is one more thing that I want to say. At the very bottom of the page, very bottom page on the right side, the Baal Shem Tov recommends something which is very important. He says, after you light the menorah, what should you do? How long would it take to light the menorah? A minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. Sit down by the menorah, turn on the lights in the room, and say, V'hinoam and Yoshev B'Seser. 7 times.
7 times?
7 times. He says this is something to do anytime you have an Eis Tzara, and we are now in Eis Tzara. It provides shmira for the time and for the year. Every single night I do it. I've been doing it for a couple of years already. Every single night. After I finish lighting, I sit down and I say V'hinoam and Yoshev B'Sefer 7 times. I repeat it. V'hinoam Yoshev B'Sefer. V'hinoam Yoshev B'Sefer. 7 times. And this provides it. And he says to do this, the Arizal did it on Rosh Hashanah also. But also an Eis Tzara. It's Yom Hadin. And we're now in Yom Hadin with the Eis Tzara for Am Yisrael right now. This is a very important thing to do. After you light the menorah, say V'hinoam and Yoshev B'Sefer that we just said last night, Motzei Shabbos, 7 times repeated. Each time you say it, I guess it's for another day of the week. I don't know exactly. But 7 times gives it its full power. It's something very important to do. And to remember, any time during the year, if you have an Eis Tzara, there's a lot of pressure in the family, things going on, whatever it is, someone needs a big refuah, whatever it is, say V'hinoam and Yoshev B'Sefer 7 times. Repeat it 7 times. It's a very big to'eles. It's a shmira for the whole year. That's about it. Any questions? We're finished.